All right, welcome back to another video. So in this one, we are actually going to speak to a lender directly. I always kind of talk about it in my other videos, and now we're actually going to get to hear it from an expert themselves. I get a lot of questions regarding home qualification, what you need, pros and cons, and questions I just can't answer just because I'm not a lender, and typically I always direct it to a lender. So now we're just going to go through Google's most asked questions for a lender. All right, here we go. We are with Bob here. He works with Sell Mortgage Brokers. Great team out here in the Grapevine, Texas, Dallas, Texas region. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about what kind of things people typically ask me because I cannot answer them.
Right.
I'm not a professional when it comes to lending. So let's say I want to get a home at 500. I don't have 20% down.
Right.
But I possibly want to avoid PMI. Is there a way for me to do so?
No. But I mean,
because anything under 20%
right,
always has PMI.
Right. There's a few out there for the jumbos mortgages that you can put down 10% and have no PMI. But yeah, other than that, if it's under 20%, you're gonna have some type of insurance.
And that PMI is, if for conventional, it can go away through the time?
Correct. So if you have a conventional loan, if you're not sure what conventional is, or we're talking about one conventional, there's certain types of loans. Conventional is just your regular everyday loan. FHA is more of a guidelines and stricter.
In FHA, people are always, when I say they can get an FHA loan, they say, I'm not a first-time home buyer.
Doesn't matter. So FHA loan, you can put down 3.5% and get into a home. You're always going to carry a mortgage insurance, though. PMI is what they call it, and that's going to last throughout the total of the loan.
And that typically means that your monthly rent would be about what, $200 to $400 more.
Depending on the price of the home, it goes by a percentage of it. So it's going to be an extra, usually $200-300 for it.
So what would make someone, I guess, decide from, am I conventional or am I FHA?
That is going to...
Of course, there's a few factors, like if you wanted less down payment, if you have a down payment or not. But let's say we had someone who could qualify for both.
For both. I would push people towards conventional just because you're not going to have to refinance later on to get a better rate. If you go with the FHA, yeah, you're going to have a better rate, but you're going to be paying an extra mortgage insurance for the life of the loan.
Okay.
Conventional, you can put down 3%, 5%, and you'll have a mortgage insurance. But once your house raises every year, your equity reaches about 20%, maybe even a little less than that. You can get out of that, and you'll lower your payment, $150-200.
You're in the home.
Yep, you're in the home. That's the whole goal.
That's the whole goal. Right. Let's say my credit's just shot. I don't know my score, but I think it's a 580.
Okay.
Could I get a home?
Yes. There's lenders out there. We work with about 30 to 40 different lenders throughout the country. There's lenders that will go down to 500 credit score. Again, there's factors in that. When you sit down with your mortgage broker, they should start asking you questions and try and figure out, okay, why is he at that score? Did he just go through a bankruptcy? Okay, if he did, it's gonna be harder to get into a home. You went through a bankruptcy a couple years ago, you'll be able to get into a home. Also, if you want to hold off, you saw what your score is going to be, you saw that your rate's going to be kind of high because your score is a little bit low, there's ways that we can help you raise your score, in a shorter amount of time, give you a plan to work towards in a short couple of months, and you can save up and get your house that way.
Probably. There are people in a situation where they are in a home. They may not have as much cash as they would like in their account or on hand, but they have tons of equity in their home. You've told me that you guys have a program that maybe help them get a home. And can you explain a little more about that? Sure.
So the old way was to, hey, you do a HELOC, grab some of your cash. Of course, you're spending money to get the HELOC, or you got to do a cash out to get your money, so you're spending money to get that. This is actually a program to where the lender will go in, use the equity of your home, and you can purchase your new home, and your realtor won't have to write a contingency, which is going to make your contract look a lot better than having to say that, okay, yeah, he's got to sell his house before he can afford this house. This will get you in your house, and once your house sells, the lender will take care of that house for you, and you'll get the remaining money that you are owed.
So I feel that a lot of the questions, sometimes it can be a little difficult to answer people's questions when they want to talk to a lender or when they have questions about lending. But I think the key and the best thing would be for people to ask questions, right?
Correct.
It would be to come out and be honest.
Right.
And
Yeah, so I mean, when people are ready to buy a house, usually the first person they go to is going to be the realtor because hey, that's the first step. I need to find a house. That's what they do. They find houses, and usually the realtor is going to turn around and say, okay, so how much can you afford? That's when they say, okay, you can go see a mortgage broker. You can figure out how much you can afford and how comfortable you are with those payments. After that process, that's basically a pre-qualification. You want to get pre-approved, which will basically say, yeah, the lender will allow you to borrow this much money. So really, the biggest step you have to do is to reach out to a mortgage broker, figure out the situation, sit down, talk to them, figure out where you're going to be if you're comfortable with that, and then move forward. But never be afraid to ask questions. The only stupid question is the ones not asked, right?
so I myself am in the process of trying to get a home, and as a real estate agent, we're self-employed. So can you explain the process for someone who is self-employed to get a home? Because we don't have to W-2.
Right.
Yeah, we have to show that we make money.
Right, exactly. The lender wants to see that you are actually making money. Yeah, so there's different programs that we have for people that are self-employed. There's actually ones to where if you're had a bad year this year and you had a great year last year, they don't want to see like a decreasing income. So they actually have some that will get you in the house at first. So it's called basically a bank statement. So if you're showing an income and your credit's above a 660, I believe the minimum is, they'll get you in a house. There's basically self-employed. We need to see the 1099, your K1s, go through all that. We add back your depreciation to your income, so that increases your income. So there's different routes that you can take as self-employed, but there's definitely routes to get you in a house. Is it more painstaking? Yeah, but it's definitely worth it to get in the house.
Yes, always, always. The last question, since interest rates are so high, people are so afraid, they're asking, should I buy down my point?
Right.
And you explain what entails in that, and then I guess the effect of buying down.
Sure. So when the market started going crazy about a year and a half ago, a whole bunch of lenders came out with basically it's a temporary buy down is what they call it. I'm not a fan of it, but a lot of people used it. If you're not planning on being in the house very long, it's a great program. It gets you in the house. Basically, a 2-1 buy down would be for the first year. Say the rate's at 7%, you're going to get your first year's payments at 5%. Second year, it'll go to a 6%, and then it'll go to 7% for the remaining of the loan.
Is that so? When you say a remainder of the loan, there is
the 28 years left on it.
No matter what.
Well, you could refinance. Okay. You're able to refinance out of it, but again, that's
just a question.
That's right. That's more money down the road that you can have to spend.
Mm-hmm.
But that's great if you're not planning on being in the city for more than maybe 5 years, and you can see that you're going to be having growth at your income. I usually push people towards using that money just to do a permanent buy down on the rate. So if it's a 7%, maybe you could buy it down to 6.5%. If you're at 6.5% and you're in it for 30 years, you can save a lot more money than you are with just a 2-year savings, and then refinancing later on and wasting more money that way. So.
Okay, and then it costs money to buy down a rate. So if you say I have my interest rate I'm getting is like 8%.
Okay.
And I wanted to possibly get it down to 7. Would that be super expensive, or would that be something that you would, I guess it's if I want to lower my mortgage.
Right.
But does it lower the mortgage as much as you would think?
It depends on the situation you're in. A full point buy down is going to be costly. Usually, so from a 7 to 8, you got a 7, then you go to 7 and 8, and then 7. So it goes up by 8. Yeah. So each point is an 8.
Okay.
So usually an 1/8 of a point is going to cost you. The first one's usually pretty cheap. Second one, you're getting up into 1,000 or so, and then it goes to 3,000, 5,000, 7,000. Not in those exact increments, but it's it increases fairly quickly.
And these are just a few things kind of if people are considering buying them. The rates, they definitely should consider
Right.
because they'll have to bring a little more to the closing.
Right. If they have enough money to where if they're putting down $100,000, maybe hold off and put down $90,000, buy down your rate $10,000, get a better rate for the remainder of your loan.
Lovely.
Hey, this is Bob Reynolds. I'm with XL Mortgage Brokers. I'm in the Texas area. If you need anything, any questions, any answers that you're looking for, give me a shout, give Trevon a call. I'd be happy to help you out.
All right, so I had to finish the video at the next house, but I did this whole thing just so you can gain perspective. I get a lot of people who are afraid to ask questions, who don't know what to ask. And when it comes to lenders, sometimes I don't, because every situation is completely different. Just because your credit score is low doesn't mean you can't qualify. There just may be things you need to do, like a few payments or a small payment here and there, and then you're a homeowner, or you have the ability to be a homeowner. Not only that, but there's so many programs that some of these lenders have, and they all have different programs. So the goal here is if you are interested in buying, you're tired of renting, or you feel like, hey, maybe I can buy, or you don't know, reach out, ask questions. The worst thing that we're gonna say to you, it's not no or F off. It's, oh, you just need this, or oh, you're ready actually, oh, or you just need to take care of this and you're ready to qualify. And then let's say, okay, you're a year out or a couple of years out. Well, maybe do the research now, figure out what you need to do now. That way, instead of just chilling or waiting around 6-7 months, you're out, making the plans, or you're out trying to fix what you need fixed. Then by the time you save up, boom, you're ready to be pre-approved, and then soon you're a homeowner. And the main thing here is just know as much as you can, ask as many questions as you can. Because it's much better if you ask more questions beforehand and know what's going on than later on and you're trying to scramble around. So I really appreciate Bob for helping me out. Like I said at the beginning, if y'all need any help whatsoever, feel free to reach out to us. I'll leave the contact information down at the bottom. But yeah, our goal is to help you get a home. And if you can't get a home, our goal is to help you start the steps to get a home. So if you made it this far, I really appreciate you watching. My name's Trevon. I work with Century 21, Mike Bowman. Dallas, Fort Worth, Grapevine area. So don't hesitate to reach out, and until next time.